just like every time where we start a brand new community series, what happens? Usually people start starting drama in random subreddits or Twitter. People start crying about my reactions, then we go farm it, right? Topic of today's video, I'm sure you've seen by the thumbnail and the title. Are Monogatari fans pedophiles? No, they're not. At least not all of them. I think that I'm on episode 9, by the way, for Bake so far. And I think that this is an elite anime. Just amazing. The visuals, the directions, it is stunning. The commentary is thought-provoking. But of course, we need to handle the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is that this is a very pro-lolicon anime, right? You know about my stance with lollies, but first of all, let's talk about, you know, the other stuff that I want to mention first. Right here. Oh, baby. We have a paid actor. We have a paid actor coming in saying, oh my god, new Bake reactor. Don't know if you guys know him. He's amazing. P.S. I'm not paid by him. And what happens when you post reaction content on the subreddits? You get downvoted. Zero karma. React content still thriving in 2025 destroys all my hope for society. That's right. So why do people hate reactors? Basically, it's just losers online that sees how unfair content creation is for reaction content channels. They see that all you have to do is just watch shows and just basically leech and lazily just upload your reactions, making funny faces, then you just become a millionaire. And then they look at that, and then they look at their miserable lives, and they see how unfair it is, and that's why they detest it. It's really that simple. And they're right. It is very unfair. And there's a lot of shitty reactions out there that, honestly, I don't even borderlines unfair use, like some Sniper Wolf shit, right? Where I totally get it, the frustrations. I felt the same way, too. I felt the same way that, like, holy shit, these lazy motherfuckers are just sitting there just saying nothing and getting paid millions, huh? I'll do it myself. So I did. I worked a day job, I worked a YouTube channel on the side, and I decided if the world is unfair, then I simply will play the game and win. So that's what I did, but a lot of people will never actually do that. They'd rather just, you know, hide and make excuses of why things are impossible and attribute things to, oh, he just got lucky. I have an entire playlist, by the way. I have an entire playlist called Performance Review, where I give you the inside details of how to even make a reaction channel, step-by-step process, and documented it using my second channel as a test channel to show you that it's possible. So anyone that thinks that reaction content is easy and you can just make so much money with it, hey man, go try yourself. But I guarantee you, you're not going to be able to do it. Most people can't. And it's not, this kind of hate isn't just for reaction content. It's for content creators in general, right? Motherfuckers playing video games, getting paid millions, more than the annual salary, like making the annual salary in like a month just playing video games. It's a crazy thing. But when you really think about it, how many people that does that, or even reaction content, actually make that much money? Everyone tries it. There's a low barrier of entry. That's why the quality of reaction content is so bad, and why a lot of reaction content gets shit on, because the standard is so low. But I guarantee you, just like anything, of course, when you focus on like the 1% of the 1%, they're going to be making a lot of money, but that doesn't mean that that's that simple. Anyways, this guy's getting cooked here. Shoutouts to Tibu, blah, blah, blah. This comment is really funny. Yeah, I get your point, but I think that everything we can get with reactions, we get so much more with an analysis video. It can be deeper, more insightful, and still uses screenshots to represent a specific moment. If only this retard understood what kind of reactions I make. But like, I don't blame him, right? They're used to just a bunch of monkeys sitting there just saying, wow, amazing. I am breaking down each single scene, trying to fucking deconstruct it and give out thoughtful commentary. Literally everything that this guy is mentioning, I do in the form of reaction content because I'm built different. But regardless, and remember, this is not the topic of today's video. I just wanted to quickly get that out of the way. Some got a reaction channel mentioned. They're gonna start panic attacks. This right here. We got Mr. Lanky Concern 7735 coming in saying, sorry, but this dude went on a full schizo rant on Hachikuji Araragi gag in episode 5, mocking fans, calling it based and saying we're defending JP's pedo culture. Autosave clears anyways. The last time I heard of Autosave's name was during the ReZero content, where basically parasocial losers will think that they're like fans or ambassadors of other channels and say, oh my god, this channel's reaction better, this channel's reaction better. What is this guy talking about? Right here. By the way, we are again on episode 9 of Bake. This is a draft video. I haven't uploaded it yet. This is the exact moment where apparently I go on a schizo rant. Let's see if what this guy is saying is correct, because I'd like to clear my name. And begun forcibly subjecting her to severe what? You know, by the way, leading up to this, there was already a comment made about how, oh, I touched her unripened meat. He violently abuses the lolly in a physical altercation, which is kind of funny, but then grabs her, and then there's a comment made about, you know, unripened meat, which is crazy. But that's kind of the stuff before. I'm talking about this specific sequence now. Let's see what I say. Sometimes we can just laugh about these kind of jokes and say, haha. But there's also times where it's just like, is the author like self-inserting himself as the main character here? Maybe. You know? Maybe. Like, how do you like... I think Sword Art Online author does self-insert himself, not as Kirito, but like the weird, creepy, rapey dudes in every single arc. I straight up think he does. Defend this. You defend this by saying, oh, you're not cultured. That's right. In the anime community, culture means you are pro pedophilia. Yep. You like lollies, you know, you talk about doing it, you're pro this. You are cultured. How many times do you see on Twitter or different posts some shady ass sexualizations of fictional minors, and they say based, cultured? That's what I'm talking about right now. I just think that's actually so fucking retarded, and like basically sets us back, and it's so hard for people to appreciate anime more. This is the uncomfortable stuff from Japanese culture that I just choose to just turn a blind eye to, because it's part of their culture, man. And whether you like it or not, that's just reality. Anime is very creepy at times, and it's hard for me to recommend some shows and share these moments with friends who are normies, because if they saw this, they would say, you belong in a fucking jail. I love anime. And I know that anime is more than just stuff like this, right? But this is an uncomfortable reality that most people don't like to talk about. And when I voice my opinions about this, some people get very triggered, and I'll mention that in just a bit, but let me finish my schizo rant. There's more to anime than just this. Was that it? Yours? That's it. That's literally the schizo rant. The schizo rant of mention is me talking about how I think it's weird when people try to normalize the sexualizations of fictional minors in shows by saying it's cultured and based and laugh about it. I just think that's really weird. And I think this is a very lukewarm take. What I just said is a very reasonable, lukewarm take that is not crucifying a fandom. That is not specifically saying all Monogatari fans are pedos. No, no, no. But this guy apparently is saying, I'm mocking fans. Hatsukuji Araragi gag. What's the gag? And this is the funniest thing too. People love saying, it's just a joke, man. It's just a bit. Yeah? What's the bit genuinely? The bit is when you say, and begun forcefully subjecting her to severe sexual harassment. So funny, man. Wow, what an amazing gag. I hate this disingenuous, dishonest thing of like, oh my god, clearly something weird is happening, but it's just a joke. Why are you going on a schizo rant about it? Mocking fans, and here's the thing. When I watch a scene like this, I get very uncomfortable. It's very weird. But you know what's really interesting? We both watched this together on stream. This is my biggest fan, man. He was straight up in the stream watching it. And what made him uncomfortable is that I voiced my opinion about how this pedophilic joke is weird. And that the anime community that calls this based in culture are weird. Do you understand how ridiculous this is? Judge me not by my fans, but by my haters. Like, if we just watch the same thing and the thing that gets you uncomfortable is me talking about this, what does that mean? It means that this person is most likely a lolicon who probably does have pedophilic urges, who felt like they got personally called out. That's that simple. It's genuinely that simple. Now, just because you're a lolicon doesn't mean you're a pedophile. We've had this conversation over and over again, but as always, whenever we cover topics like this, during anime stuff. I have like a written dialogue tree, like I'm an NPC, because I'm so used to countering all these stupid fucking logic. So first things first, just because you're a lolicon doesn't mean you're a pedo. It is a ridiculous thing to assume that. However, I believe most, if not all, pedos probably would enjoy lolicon content. I think that makes a lot of sense. If you enjoy getting off to sexual depictions of minors, regardless if it's drawings or fiction or not, I don't care if it's fiction. If you get off on that, what is the likelihood that you probably would get off on the real thing too? I think the likelihood is pretty decently high. Definitely higher than a non-lolicon. That's just pure fucking logic. Somebody that enjoys this kind of stuff would actually enjoy pedophilia? Probably not every one of them though. No, that's ridiculous. People love to counter this by saying, but what about video games? You telling me all Call of Duty players are serial killers? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's an ultimatum. But I do believe people who likes killing people with guns, like if you play Call of Duty in a specific story map where you basically shoot out an entire airport, I think it's called No Russian or whatever, I forget what it was called. What is the likelihood of that person actually becoming a school shooter? Maybe not that high, but what is the likelihood of a school shooter enjoying these kind of scenes in a video game? That they get off on like just killing people with guns? I think that logic makes sense. Like my logic makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying that everyone that does this shit is that, but someone that has done that shit, would they like the video games that represent? Would they like the lolicon content? I think so. This is just base, reasonable logic. It's not that fucking difficult. A lot of fucking weirdos will basically have cognitive dissonance and feel personally attacked by what I said, and will say, no, that's just not right. But no, you're being so intellectually fucking dishonest if you're going to disagree with what I'm saying. I don't care if you're a lolicon or not. Genuinely, I don't. You want to get off to just depictions of minors in a fictional show? Go ahead. Just don't do it around me, right? As long as you're not harming anybody, you do what you want to do. But to think that like I am calling out the fans, and this is the funniest things too. A lot of people do this defensive posturing where basically, this is the equivalent of this. Say that there is a Monogatari fan who actually shot up a school, right? Let's think about that. A person that enjoys watching Monogatari shot up a school, and I condemn that school shooter saying, that's fucked up. That's so insane. You'd belong in jail. Then this guy would say, I can't believe he would attack Monogatari fans. This is the reason and logical thinking of these fucking poor victims online. They try to equate pedophilia with fans, as if every Monogatari fan is you. No. This is literally the perfect example of what's called a self-report. They feel personally called out by my very lukewarm, reasonable commentary. They go on and make up lies, just spread misinformation, just making shit up. And then motherfuckers here literally don't even do deal, because again, it's Reddit, right? It's fucking Twitter and Reddit. Like, what did you expect from Twitter and Reddit? Do you expect anyone to actually genuinely care about like due diligence and to actually do their research and find out for themselves, right? Now, technically, this content can't be found because it's not uploaded right now, but it's just so funny to me when like actual pedophiles get called out by me, they feel uncomfortable, then they go out and try to hide behind this shit. No, absolutely, you are protecting Japan's pedo culture if you're gonna cry about this take. And this is such a weird comment here too. And again, I don't expect like a retard Redditor to understand this, but when you bring another content creator's name up, listen, I have a lot of respect for Autosave. They make great content. But see how you're basically now positioning them to be pro-pedophilia? I'm not saying that they are. But when you are condemning me for my commentary about how this shit is weird, and then you are pro-autosave, what does that mean? That I don't like diddling, but autosave does? Again, it's online, right? It's fucking random stupid comments. Like genuinely, who gives a fuck about random Redditors, right? You can't expect them to have any sort of like actual critical thinking skills or logic, but don't bring in other content creators' names. You are literally like ruining their reputation by saying shit like this. It's so fucking lame. And over here, haven't seen that yet, but to be honest, when I was very uncomfortable with the Hachikuji stuff. I think it's fair to feel like that at first. Yes. I think that the most logical and reasonable stance on this is weird. Monogatari is absolutely very weird, right? It is an elite anime, but absolutely pedophilic tendencies are embedded into the content whether you like it or not, right? Just read the fucking subs. But you can't just say it's just a gag, it's just a joke, bro. No. This is like the shit that actual fucking like criminals say to like protect themselves, to be like, oh, just a prank, why are you taking this so seriously? No. You personally felt called out when I said this, which makes you a self-reported actual pedophile. And if this makes me a tourist, I will absolutely be a tourist. 100%. If me feeling weirded out by this lolicon shit and just like subtitles that are specifically like, again, leaning into the pedophilic tendencies, I will absolutely be a tourist, but you belong in actual fucking jail. And it's honestly like not surprising that this is coming from the Baki subreddit, right? Because like, no, this isn't even the Baki subreddit. This is called the Ararage subreddit, man. I knew for a fact like this is gonna be a problem when I started this show. That Monogatari, because of how much like lolicon leanings content is in there, that no matter what, people are gonna get upset. But this, you call this a schizo rant? That's so crazy to me. That's so fucking weird. And people like this genuinely set the entire community back. And if you are defending this stuff, I would again ask you, please describe what you're defending. People like to say, oh, it's just a drawing, man. It's just a drawing. Explain to me what the drawing is. A sexualized depiction of a minor. And when you say it out loud, how does it make you feel? I feel weirded out. It feels very uncomfortable. Age does not matter in anime. You know why? Because Hachikuji technically is older than Ararage. This grade schooler is actually older than Ararage. And that's why age doesn't matter. In the world of fiction, sexualized minors will simply be slapped on with like an age of like 9,000. And they'll say, but this is a 9,000-year-old demon. So actually, no. That's fucking stupid ass mental gymnastics that you're trying to do so that you can get off on minors. Go do that on your own time, but don't try to fucking bring my name and drag this shit. Fucking weirdo pedos, man.